All right, cool. All right, so what I'm gonna do is real quick. I'm gonna recap what we played, and then I'm gonna bring you in.
All right, dope.
We introduce ourselves on our show. I am IB. It's like an homage to De La. So I am meticulous. IB something.
Like I'd be a producer, like that.
Yeah,
shit?
there you go. Yeah, that's
All
cool. Except that S word part.
Oh, right. My bad.
Oh, you're good. It's cool.
All right, I gotta cleanse myself from this point.
All right, cool. All right, let's go. Yeah, we're back. It's our show right here, WPRK, Winter Park, Florida, 91.5 FM, all over the internet at itsourshow.net. That is ITSOURSHOWNET. And let me run down, before I introduce our guests, let me run down what we just played. Instrumental in the background. Of course, the guy has some Nujabes on the show. So this is Prayer by Nujabes, or Nujabes, however you want to pronounce that. Before that, we had brand new J Live with Feel This. Before that, we had some Dynasty. Shout out to our Tampa cousin. That track was featuring Koi. It was called Days I've Never Known. Turn on this real quick. All right. Before that, we had Divine Karama and DJ Well Blended with Secret Lover. Now, real quick, the homie Divine Karama is putting out a new project with DJ Well Blended. And the way you can get the project is by doing like a service for your community. So it's volunteering, feeding the homeless. All you have to do is just take a picture of yourself doing it, and he'll send you the code to download it.
So that's dope.
Big shout out to homie Divine Karama. All right, before that, Apollo Brown featuring Westside Gun and Planet Asia with Triple Beams. Apollo Brown's album Grandeur, that looks crazy. It's shaping up to be awesome.
Yeah.
So that was Triple Beams off of that. Before that, we started off some homegrown Orlando hip hop. Now, 1/4 of this group is Orlando hip hop. The other half, so that was my verse. The other 3 members are Carolina Dirty, Dominique LaRue, and Moni Love.
Oh, Moni Love.
Yes, Moni Love.
Oh.
The group is called Heresy, and yeah, that track is called One Dream. All right, and that brings us to where we're at now. But right now, let me pull up one of his many instrumentals. Let me see here. Maybe, I'm going to play one of the first joints that were played from him, which is off of his Christmas beat tape. And yeah, let me see where to go. If I had it, where'd it go? Oh, here we go. 90s Sleigh Bells. This is plays right here while I bring them in.
Christmas in September.
Right? Christmas, September. Oh, well, that could be because we're here in Orlando. We have no seasons.
Right.
So, you know, it is. But you hear his voice right now. All right, now this gentleman, he might as well be named Mysterious because trying to look up information on him, kind of difficult. Like his website is straight music, which I can appreciate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All you really see is like Brooklyn, New York. And it's cool because he's worked with another Mysterious, the metal-fingered one himself.
Oh.
But now, unlike Doom, when you spell the man's name, no caps.
That's right.
Gentlemen, I want to introduce Maticulous. Maticulous, fam, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm chilling. Now introduce yourself the official way so heads can get the voice together.
I am meticulous, and I be a producer.
Nice. Now, were you always a producer, or were you into some other elements of hip hop?
I mean, I started out DJing, but I mean, I dabbled in rapping here and there, but that wasn't my lane. So I was more into digging for records and DJing for people, and then it kind of just progressed into wanting to make my own stuff.
Nice. Yeah, I've noticed that producers always seem to have done something before actual producing, because producing is very expensive. It's like one of the most expensive elements of hip hop.
That's why I didn't do it early, because I wasn't a tech head. I wasn't into like computers and all that stuff. And I didn't really have a guitar center where I was from. So I didn't start really making music until about 2005, 2006.
Okay, so now where you're from, like I mentioned, you're not from New York. You're from like the west side of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I'm from near Pittsburgh, a small town outside of Pittsburgh.
Now, what was your earliest hip hop memory? Was it in the small town outside of Pittsburgh, or?
Yeah, it was interesting because you see, you see like artists like Run DMC and Will Smith blow up, and you catch little glimpses of that. But as I got older, and it was just kind of more prevalent, like the Dr. Dre's and the the Biggies and stuff like that. It was never played on regular radio. I would have to catch it late on MTV or something like that. But I was just, I definitely was the only kid in my town that was really into hip hop. But so it was hard. It was kind of like digging for records, man. Trying to find hip hop music where I was. It was kind of like trying to find old records, but it was so much more rewarding finding it all that way.
Oh, that's dope. All right, so then what? Now, you say you didn't really start producing until like 2005. You made the move to New York like
in
2004. All right. So now, were you rhyming before the move to New York? Were you?
I wasn't rhyming, seriously. Like not nothing like that. But I was DJing. I had turntables I had bought from the back of the Source. I don't know if you remember where you get that Mixer 2 turntable joint. I saved up a bunch of money, paid like $350 for that, and started buying records. That was probably like 99 or 2000, and then I was able to afford some equipment off a used store called Rogue here in Manhattan. So yeah, I learned that. I mean, I say 2006 because that was when I made beats that were acceptable, but like from the end of 04 to about the beginning of 06, I was just trying to learn the MPC.
All right. Now, before the production, you said you were DJing, and I also heard that you had a radio show.
Yeah, I did, man. I went to school in a town called Indiana, Pennsylvania, and they had a nice hip hop show. It was called The Underground, and I did that for 2.5 years. It was fun, man. It was one of the funnest things. Just getting on and playing music no one's ever heard before, and getting calls like, "Yo, what was that?" That was just dope. Sharing new hip hop.
So, what were some of the joints you were playing?
Oh man, a big one for me. I'm a huge Dilla head, so I was playing "Pause," the joint with Frankendank.
Yeah, okay.
Raucus put that out, man. I couldn't wait to play that as soon as I got
there. Like the girls all pause. Well, no, that was corrupt.
No, that was off of Welcome to Detroit.
Okay.
It ended up being on Welcome to Detroit, but Raucus put out the 12-inch, like 2000, 2001, something like that. I was really into Raucus, man. Like 2000 was like a Raucus time for me.
I mean, they basically anything that had that razor was pretty much you're like, I'm buying that.
Yeah, that's me. Yep.
All right, so this is in Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Because okay, I know a few people who make the trip to New York, to the Mecca. You know what I'm saying? What prompted you? Because that's a big deal. You know what I'm saying? To be outside of from Indiana, Pennsylvania. You know what I'm saying? To be like, I'm going to move to New York. What was that like?
Yeah, like I figure I didn't have anything, like I wasn't building anything in PA, and I wanted to, I mean, my college offered me to go anywhere. As long as I could find a good internship, I could go anywhere. So I figured I would go to New York and try to find something and get college credit and then just build off that.
Oh, that's dope. Where are you going to school for? That's dope.
Communications, but I knew I wanted to do something with creating music, so I wanted to try to get a proper internship along those lines. So I got an internship with Fat Beats, and then that kind of turned into a full-time job. I was the buyer of the store at Fat Beats. Are you familiar with Fat Beats?
Oh yeah. Oh come on.
Okay.
That's a lot of. I mean, I know about Percy P. Did you run into Percy P outside?
That was after his time. He had already kind of made the transition. He was moving to LA, working with Stone's Throw by 2004, 2005. So, but I saw a bunch of the other guys.
Nice. All right, so I want to because you have the brand new album out, Maticulous, the LP. Yeah, I'm saying following the EP that you put out with Fat Beats in 2011.
Yeah, that's right.
So you moved to New York 2004, 2005.
2004.
2004. Then when did you start working at Fat Beats? Like immediately?
March of 2004.
All right, cool. So then from 2004 to 2011, when the album dropped. What
Yeah.
were you doing in between that time?
Well, I like I said, I wasn't really making music till about 2006. So from 04 to 06, I was the buyer manager at Fat Beats.
Mm.
And then at the end of 06, I went to their warehouse to do distribution and sales and like A&R stuff.
Nice.
And all the while, you know, working on music, stuff like that. But I didn't really I didn't really want to do a producer album at all, because I'm, you know, my thing is I like to work with one artist, but that wasn't going to happen for me because, you know, I wasn't really doing much, so I had to reach out to a lot of people with music and like do it that way. So that's from like the beginning of 2010 is when I started to work on the EP, and then it came out in April of 2011. So I was just basically kind of putting stuff together from like 09 or 2009 to 2011.
Okay, all right, dope. All right, so all right, so now what I want to do is let's get into a track. All right, this video just came out, right? The Body of the Beat came out like recently. Like
No, that actually came out in 2011 off my EP. That was the first joint I ever released was that joint.
Oh, okay, that's why I have it here first. Nice. All right, so let's get into that joint.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That falls right into I want to play the EP. All right, cool. So now, featuring Rusty Jux, R.A. the Rugged Man, and Rock of Helter Skelter.
Yep.
Give me one random fact about that track.
One random fact about that track.
Could be about the recording, the writing.
Actually, Rusty Jux was the first verse ever recorded for this album. And yeah, that was, I forget what month it was, but yeah, it was the first session I ever had for this record. The whole album was Rusty Jux verse and hook.
Oh, that's dope. All right, cool. So let's get into that. Body of the Beat by our guest Maticulous. This is off his EP that came out on Fat Beats. His LP just recently came out. Because I saw this video and I was like, damn, they did Maticulous dirty in his own video. I was like, that's messed up. All right, that's cool. All right, so let's get into it. It's our show, and thank you guys for tuning in. WPRK, Winter Park, Florida, 91.5 FM. We're gonna keep talking while the audio is playing for the audio listeners, because you know we're doing video here, so it's like two shows in one.
Oh, word, okay.
All right, cool. So yeah, let's get into it. I want to talk about Fat Beats because we've had some other artists who worked at Fat Beats, and I think your timeline crossed. I know they crossed because you did a project with one of them. So we'll get into that. All right, so it's our show. Thank you guys for tuning in. WPRK, Winter Park, Florida, 91.5 FM, all over the internet at it'sourshow.net. And this is Maticulous, no caps, featuring Rusty Jux, R.A. the Rugged Man, and Rock of Helter Skelter. All right, Body of the Beat. We'll be right back. Y'all be easy. Peace. All right, so now, so working at Fat Beats, give me a crazy story. 'Cause I know there's been all type of stuff. Because Fat Beats was like the center of where everything was kind of happening because of the shop. Like Raucous was running like, you know, the record label type thing, but Fat Beats was like the community hub, right?
Yeah, and actually, Fat Beats was distributing a lot of Raucous's records.
Yeah, they're doing a lot. I think, weren't you doing Rhyme Sayers, I think, at one point?
I believe they still have exclusive vinyl distribution of Rhyme Sayers, but pretty much any underground label went through Fat Beats for distribution. And the first album, I think it was the first album on Fat Beats Records, was Atmosphere's God Loves Ugly. So that was a huge first record for Fat Beats. That was before I got there, but yeah, that was the spot. People would come there, get flyers, just chop it up with us, like the employees, talk about the new music that's out. I was definitely spoiled by it. I always tell myself, man, I wish I was making music back then, because I could have met, I met all these people. I didn't have any music to give them.
Yeah, because you went there, like, why Fat Beats? Why did you go?
Because it was the spot. Like I felt like I could learn the most. I didn't know what exactly I was going to learn, but I thought that being in that environment would prepare me to be an artist. You know, you see what works, you see what doesn't. You kind of think about the sound that you're going for as an artist, because when you first start making joints, you don't know exactly what you're going to do. You're just going to try to sound like someone else until you actually experience like conversations and stuff like that. It was the spot. It was the spot.
Any random memories?
Oh man, there's so many. I remember the first couple days I was interning. I was a big Reflection Eternal fan, and Quali came in and he asked for a bunch of records because he was DJing a party for Nike, and I was like, man, I didn't know you DJ'd, you know. So I like picked out a bunch of records for him, and then he went off and did his gig. But there was just so many people came through. Like I met pretty much everyone that I would ever want to meet in hip hop, you know. Warren G came in for an in-store for an album he put out in 05, I think, or 06. Q-Tip came in, Primo a bunch of times. It was dope.
That's dope. So now, I also read that. Oh, let me turn on the mics here. All right. So now I also read that you DJ Honda.
Yeah, that was my first internship. I was there about a month, and then I left because I thought Fat Beats would have been a little better of a fit. Because I don't know, I just wasn't really doing what I thought I was going to be doing there. I thought I was going to be in the studio, but it didn't really work out that way. So I had to move on.
Yeah, a lot of major label stuff. Really, you really don't. It's like Get Coffee type stuff. It's not really.
Yeah, it was along those lines. And then working at the he had a retail store for years on Lafayette Street, and I was working there a lot. So I just figured I would try Fat Beats, and it ended up working out.
Yeah, it really worked out because you, like you said, you met all type of people, and this is before you really wanted to like pursue, I guess, you know, you're like kind of like honing your craft and trying to find your sound.
That's exactly right.
And that's the place to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now you also met some folks there that also were, you know, putting together some things. You know what I'm saying? The Brown Bag All-Stars.
Yeah. They actually formed after I was gone from the physical store. But my Audible Doctor was an intern there when I was actually employed by Fat Beats. And we've known each other for, I think he started there late 2004. So I've known him since, you know, 10, 11 years, something like that.
And so because you guys got together and put out a project, the Automatic joint.
Yep.
Talk, because you said you wanted to work with like one artist.
Yeah.
And so was this kind of like your first try? Like, all right, I can do this.
Yeah. We had actually done a joint. Man, I forget when it came out. I think it was before my EP, but it was off a compilation. It was called The Colors. And we worked well together then. And so we put out a song every month for 4 months. And then later in the year, we added those 4 songs plus 2 new ones. And then we put out an EP. It was called The Manual. I think that came out in 2012.
All right. Yeah, because, I think so. Either 2012 or 2013, maybe? Because I think one of the first joint. Oh, no, I don't know. I have to go back and look into the
We're 2015 now.
Yeah.
Last year I did Mellow, which was 2014, 2013. It might have been 2013 because I put out 2 EPs. One with a rapper from Pittsburgh named John Quest, and then another, the Audible Doctor joint.
All right. Called The Manual.
Yeah.
All right. So right now you have 2 projects with one rapper. You said you prefer those, right?
Yeah, I do actually.
So tell me, like, compare and contrast doing a compilation type joint with Maticulous LP out right now, and just like working with one artist.
It's more streamlined because you're not dealing with as many people, and you can kind of bounce ideas off each other constantly, as opposed to presenting multiple artists with a track and trying to work with multiple people on one song 10 times over. I just prefer doing one artist for sure. I feel like it's a more complete body of work, which is why I try really hard to make my producer albums just like complete bodies of work, even though there's a bunch of different people on them.
So to talk about the process of getting the people. Now, do you just like send them like a bunch of beats and then whoever like kind of wants to rhyme on, or do you have it like all mapped out that you want this person on this joint?
Yeah, I have it mapped out.
Which explains the name Maticulous. You have everything set up.
Yeah, I guess. I pretty much have every beat picked out in order, and then I hear who do I hear on this, how do I want it to flow, how do I want the tracks to go together. So yeah, I don't like sending people a bunch of beats and say just pick one, because that doesn't really do anything for anyone, basically, in my opinion.
But yeah, especially when it's your own project, you want to have a certain sound. So now talk about the sound of the Maticulous LP. What were you going for?
Just kind of like just a wave, just like highs and lows, and I just like good grooves. I like hard drums, and I try to stay in that pocket and weave around.
No, I feel you. All right. So let's I want to play a joint off that automatic joint though.
All right.
Now. And then we'll come back with it. Oh, by the way, right now you're listening to "Walk the Walk" by Maticulous. Right now, instrumental in the background.
That was off Mellow 2, joint I put out last year.
Talk about that project. That was the instrumental joint, right? Yeah,
that one was half instrumental, half vocals. It had YU from Diamond District, Audible Doctor.
Okay. That's okay. Okay. All right, because I got that track. I wanted to play that joint, the Sunsets.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, okay. And that was a follow-up to an instrumental joint I put out in 2011 called Mellow Intros. So it was kind of like in the same vein, but there were some MCs on it.
Okay. All right. Dope. So now let's play Sunsets. You know what I'm saying? Talk about YU. You know what I'm saying? That I don't know, a lot of people know, like, he's one of the most underrated like MCs. Like, he's just
one of my favorite MCs. Period.
How'd you come across YU?
I was a big fan of Diamond District when they put out that In the Rough record, and I actually met him at Fat Beats in 2010, right after they put out that record, and we just kind of built upon that, and we did that joint first, the one with Audible Doctor, and then a couple years later we linked up to do a joint off my LP called The Same Way.
Nice. All right, cool. So give me one random fact about Sunsets that we're about to get into.
Oh man, one random fact. Man, I can't even think of one right now.
Well, whose idea was it to get YU on the joint?
It was both ours, because we're both big fans, and that joint was originally going to be on another project that Audible Doctor and I were doing, and then it didn't work out. So I was like, man, this fits my project really well. So I'm gonna use it as like the lead single, and it turned out really well. I like the joint.
Nice. All right, cool. So let's get into it. It's Automatic, which is Audible Doctor and our guest Maticulous, featuring YU of the 1978ers and Diamond District.
That's right.
We're gonna get into it. It's our show right here, WPRK, Winter Park, Florida, 91.5 FM. And and we're going to talk about, putting together the project and what you've learned thus far. You know what I'm saying? All right, cool. So we've got Maticulous. We're going to get into this joint. We'll be right back. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's our show, and we'll be right back. Easy. Peace. Hold on. All right, so now, okay, my bad. I had to set up the joints. All right. So because you also been doing some projects with some heads in Pennsylvania, also, right?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like, were they around when you left, or were you doing stuff like, and then you kind of discovered that damn, there are some heads back home doing things.
That's exactly right. When I was there, like I was about an hour and a half away from Pittsburgh growing up, so I wasn't in the scene heavy. I would only, go to shows, go to record stores, and when I moved out here, as far as I knew, there wasn't really a scene. And then around 2007 is when like Mac and Wiz started to blow up, Wiz Khalifa, and I went back. One of the main stores in Pittsburgh is called Time Bomb, and they're supporters of indie hip hop. And I gave the dude my album, my record, the EP, and he told me, he's like, "Yo, man, you need to hit up these dudes." And I hit up Beatty first, who used to be in a group with Mac Miller, really dope MC. And then this dude Hubs, who's also on my record, and then this 2-man group called Folkland. They both rap and they both sing. I actually put out an EP in 2012 on Fat Beat's webpage for free called The Confluence, and it was all Pittsburgh MCs.
Oh, that's dope.
I used some of them on my album too. So yeah. They got some dope artists in Pittsburgh, man.
So now the joint Lay Back featuring Beatty and Hubs.
Yep.
What's that off of?
That was off The Confluence.
Okay, all right, cool. So yeah, it's weird. Like you almost don't appreciate where you're at until you go away, and then you look back like, oh, damn, those stuff there all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I had never witnessed the culture until I went back, and I just kind of hung around, and there was a lot of enthusiasm for hip hop like I had never seen in Western PA, and I think it like had a lot to do with Mac and Wiz blowing up. Like, hey, we're legitimate too. The stuff I make isn't in that lane, but nevertheless, people got confidence from it.
Exactly. I mean, it's still hip hop. So kind of compare and contrast then, because I mean, you're in the Mecca. So when you went back, was it kind of like, oh, okay, I can kind of see something happening here?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it didn't have that sense of a jaded culture like we have in New York. I mean, that's why everyone says if you make it here, you can make it anywhere. Because you go to a hip hop show in New York, 9 times out of 10, it's just other artists trying to sell you their CD. But yeah, there was from my experience in Pittsburgh, there were some fans there that actually came to see the music, which is refreshing.
That's dope. So now, okay, so by the way, folks, we're back. What you just heard was Automatic, Audible Doctor, our guest Maticulous, featuring YU of the 1978ers and Diamond District, called Sunsets. So we were just talking about the compare and contrast of New York hip hop, which he kind of came up in, especially like during the early 2000s, which was kind of like a very pivotal time in hip hop, kind of.
Yeah, I pretty much came here when the indie scene died. Like, Def Jux and all those guys, all indie, they were killing it. They put out records and they would do like 30,000 copies in the first month or two. But then, the rise of Napster, the tail end of Napster, LimeWire, people were getting hip to downloading. And yeah, you could just see the really steady decline of the indie hip hop scene, especially being at Fat Beats every day. Like you'd see customers there all the time, and then it would just dwindle. By the end, there was just nobody coming.
No, that sucks. Yeah, yeah. And then unfortunately, Fat Beats had to close the stores and everything.
Yeah, for sure.
So. Yeah, but Fat Beats is still doing its thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. They're actually based out of LA now, doing the distribution and website. So yeah.
I mean, because hip hop is kind of gonna always find its way. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You just gotta look a lot harder now. Yeah,
exactly. Or you can always tune into like. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Even though everything's in your face, you got to look harder because it's like a swamp of stuff.
Exactly. And I think that's why it's important for things like independent radio and college radio, community radio is almost like a filter for all that
Absolutely.
stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's also, that's why I think it's important to have like producer compilations, because if you're into the producer and the type of music he makes, then he's going to put on artists that he feels to complement those beats.
Right.
And that's pretty much what you did with this brand new project, Maticulous, the LP.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? So talk about, how long did it take to put that together?
Oh man, that took almost 2 years. And you know, with the exception of a couple artists here and there, it probably would have taken about a year. But you know, with schedules, sometimes you're just a lot of waiting. Patience is a virtue when you're trying to make music as a producer, for sure.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Like now, what do you do in between that time? Like if you're waiting for somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like
when I'm waiting for someone and the album's not done, I'll usually try to mix it, like pre-mix it, arrange it, you know, do all the drops, and then obviously work on other projects. I did a lot of the next project I have coming out while I was kind of in that standstill period of, you know, waiting for a verse and then like the mixing and mastering phase.
All right. So now, because you stay making like beats, right? But how many are you the type of person where it's like a streak of beats, or do you always just kind of always making beats?
Before up until about 2 years ago, I was just kind of constantly making beats. I would try to make 1, 2, 3 a week. Now I only do it when I'm inspired. It's hard for me to sit and make a beat when I'm not feeling the energy of the day or something like that. When I feel creative is when I am my most productive, and it took me like 5 or 6 years to figure that out.
Now, do you find that, I mean, the beats are like, do you find that maybe the beats come to you a lot easier and you're not really working on it too much when you're inspired? Because sometimes when you force it, you're never really happy with
Sure.
it. You always find something.
Absolutely. Like if I hear one thing that I'm inspired by, or watch one thing I'm inspired by, like I'm ready. Like my brain is a lot more open, and it's a lot quicker too. I remember when I was, trying to make a bunch of beats a week, I would sit there for 8 hours and just work on one beat. Now, like, I'll make the same kind of beat and be there for maybe 2 hours or something like that.
All right, dope. And you use the MPC. Was it 2X? What do you use?
XL, yeah. It's MPC 2000 XL, some synths and Pro Tools and records, of course.
Nice. Well, now, were you starting off on that or no, right?
My first piece of equipment was the Yamaha Motif keyboard, and it had a bunch of sounds, sequencer. It's cool for some sounds, but I never really got down with the sequencer. I like the MPC's sequencer better. So I'll just like sample sounds off it into the MP and just play it out on the pads.
Nice.
But that's rare now.
All right. Okay. So and introduce you.
You actually answered the question. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the only
question.
Bit unique.
Hey, what's up, man?
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, that was actually a question one of the people in our chat room was asking. What's the first what'd you first start using for producing as far as equipment?
Yeah, it was, I think it came out in 2001, but I got it around in 2013. It's the Yamaha Motif 6. And then they updated it with the ES version, I think, a couple of years later. But this is like the OG 6. I still have it. I can't sell it. I don't know. It's like, it's close to me, even though I don't use it that much anymore.
Yeah, because, I mean, that's where you kind of started off on. So you can't
yeah.
So now, okay, so as far as technology goes, you know what I'm saying? Because it's jumped leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How have you like incorporated some of like the new stuff? You said you're using like sequencers and use Control too or something like that. That's like straight digital stuff or something, right?
Contact.
Contact.
Contact. Yeah, and I use that for sounds that I sample into the MPC. I like just playing around with the pads. I feel like I have more control that way. Or I'll just sample it right into Pro Tools and just arrange everything in Pro Tools. Sometimes I'll make beats strictly in Pro Tools. Sometimes I'll make beats strictly in the MPC. Just depends on how I'm feeling.
Nice. Okay. So, and you're talking about inspiration. What kind of things inspire Maticulous? Anything like, do you have some sort of like, because what do they call it, the flow or something like that? People go into the flow, and they say they have things that kind of like they'll do to get them into the flow.
I appreciate just genuine, like what I perceive to be as genuine art. I was really inspired by Kendrick Lamar's album "To Pimp a Butterfly." I definitely made a bunch of beats after I heard that record. And then just, stuff I see, like I'll walk down the street and I'll see something, or I'll hear someone playing something on the street, and I'll just be like, oh, that sounds dope. I don't know. I always wondered when producers answered that question, like, what gets you inspired? I'm like, what is he talking about? But you just have to experience it to get that thing going in your brain. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
No doubt. Yeah, because it's inspiration. You can't explain the source of inspiration. It just kind of happens.
Right, exactly. But a lot of it is music. A lot of it is being inspired by other music.
All right. Now, because out now, really, there's a lot of the same homogenous type joints that are kind of going. You know what I'm saying? Is it like the new sounds that you hear, or is it the way somebody chops something, or is it just like the whole thing? You're like, damn, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, I mean,
because like Kendrick Lamar, like you brought up, yeah, I've never heard pretty much anything like that ever. You know
I was really happy that it didn't go like the normal route that you would expect a major label album to go. It was funky, it's soulful, the drums hit hard. It was a concept album, which are my favorites. That album was incredible. I think, it's unmatched this year anyway, that's for sure.
So where do you go to find like new artists? I mean, now that Fat Beats isn't really around right now. I mean,
yeah, that's also another thing. Like if I'm not inspired by a lot of the MCs, I'm not really working heavy. But if I hear someone I like Droog, I was inspired by your old Droog because he can.
Who's on the album?
Yeah, he can spit, man. He's dope. And that intro, I love that intro. I'm really proud of it.
Now, did you because there's a whole thing with Droog, right? That before he came out to everybody else. Did you see Droog first, or did you hear Droog first?
I heard him first, and then I met him later.
Okay, so now, what do you think? I mean, did you
think he was Nas? No.
Yeah. No. Okay, cool. Because I was like, I didn't think so either. But I mean, he is dope though.
Yeah. Sure.
And he did kill that intro on your joint. We played that on the show already before.
Oh, cool. Dope. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Again, Maticulous LP out now. Where can people find that real quick?
You could find the iTunes that Soul Spasm put out. Just look up the Maticulous LP. The tape has recently sold out through the label that I went with.
And now he did say tape, like cassette tape.
Cassette tape, yeah. It's a
gold cassette tape.
I got one here. I'll show you. So it's this tape here. It's gold. I don't know if you can see it because of the light, but the dude that did it, he just does strictly tapes, and he hit me up and we exchanged information, and he does quality work. So he sold out of his, but I still have a few remaining copies you can catch on my Bandcamp, maticulous21.bandcamp.com, and then the CDs are there as well, or on ughh.com. Nice.
Now, so how? Because cassette tapes, I mean, they seem to be kind of coming back. You know what I'm saying? But what only in New York would somebody like come back, hit you up like, hey, want to put some cassette tapes out? Was that something you were thinking about, and you're like, I want to do that, or you're just...
I definitely wanted to do this album on cassette because I thought it would translate well, like the way the tracks flowed, and I used to play tapes like crazy when I was grade school and high school. So it's the format has a real niche audience, and I feel like my fan base is that as well. So why not do a tape? So
that's dope. Yeah, I mean, especially and of course, it's sold out. So that's awesome.
A few copies left though. If you want one, hit me up on Bandcamp. I got one for you.
Maticulous21.bandcamp.com. maticulous.bandcamp.com.
That's right.
Or maticulousmusic.com.
Yeah,
I always like to go.
Yeah, if you go to maticulousmusic.com, there's an icon for everything. My Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff.
And go ahead and spell that for the folks real quick, too. It's not the regular way.
It's maticulous music.com or meticulous21 on Twitter.
Now, 2-1, where'd that come from? Curious.
That's my number, man. It's just my favorite number. Dominique Wilkins is my favorite athlete of all time. So I've always worn 21. Baseball, basketball. That's my thing.
Oh, that's dope. All right. And so you're kind of like into sports coming up?
Yeah. I'm a big Pirate fan, big Steeler fan. Not so much NBA anymore, but it's pretty much all baseball for me now.
Nice. That explains the hat.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, I want to get into, because you had something to say, Pete?
No, I was just wondering, Jasiri X is from Pittsburgh, right?
I'm not sure. I know that guy. I've seen him in passing, but I don't know if he's actually from Pittsburgh or not.
Okay, I was wondering if you were thinking about working with him. Yeah, he's a really dope MC.
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
We'll have to link up or something.
And then somebody from the chat room actually asked you, is there any musicians and producers right now that or helped influenced you, basically? You were influenced by.
That I listen to coming up or
Yeah, coming up, they influence you to produce, basically.
I mean, the usual suspects like Premier, the Beat Miners, Marvin Gaye a lot. I love Marvin Gaye, Otis Redding. But my two favorite hip hop producers are DJ Quick and Jay Dilla.
Now, explain, because that's awesome, and it's like almost two. Well, no, it is two very different sounds. Yeah. What was it about each one of them?
I thought they were both geniuses. Just real. The music just has a lot of soul, and it's tight. It's really clean, but dusty at the same time. Not so much Quick. I mean, maybe his
Quick got that bounce.
Yeah, he's the bounce like no other on his coast, and Dilla had it on his coast. So
nice. All right, you're a track that kind of has a bounce right now. You listen to the instrumental in the background right now. This is "That Ain't You" off the LP.
Yeah, that's right.
LP out right now. I want to get into that joint. So give me so this track's featuring Guilty Simpson and again Rock of Helter Skelter.
Yeah, that's the only artist that appears both on the EP and the LP.
Well, now, what is it about Rock? Because I met Rock when we did an interview when we went to A3C in Atlanta 2 years ago, and he's a real good dude. Tall as hell. He's like 8
he's
feet tall.
really tall.
So what was it about Rock where you're like, I'm gonna get him on this?
His voice, man, and I was a big Helter Skelter fan.
R.I.P. Sean,
Price. And initially, I had Rusty and Rock on Body the Beat, and then I was, trying to figure out someone who has never worked with the Duck Down artist before, and I'm a huge R.A. fan, and I asked R.A. and he was down, just off the strength of those two guys. So, but yeah, I had this joint, and I thought he'd sound perfect on it, so I hit him and Guilty, and they were down.
Yeah, because it does sound like a rock beat. It sounds like Godzilla, just coming out of the water, about to terrorize the citizens of a small island town.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying?
That's dope. I never thought of it that way, but that is dope.
All right, so let's get into it, and then I'll come back and talk about what else is coming up, and then I'll get you on your way because you've been talking to us for almost an hour, and I really appreciate it.
No, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
All right, so let's get into it. That Ain't You, featuring Rock of Helter Skelter and Guilty Simpson. Who named it That Ain't You? How did that come about?
That was Rock. He did his verse and a hook, and that's what came to him. And then Guilty just kind of went off that.
All right, cool.
Yeah, Rock is the author of That Ain't You.
Nice. And behind the scenes, I want to talk about how you structure your beats as far as naming and all type of stuff. All right, so let's get into it. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. It's our show right here, WPRK, Winter Park, Florida, 91.5 FM, and off his brand new project, the Maticulous LP, all lowercase on Maticulous. We got Maticulous right now. You want to say something there, B?
No, I'm just paying attention to the chat right now.
Not working now because it was not working. And...
I'll tell you about it later, but it's working. It's working.
Yeah, I did something new because I like messing things up apparently, and so yeah. All right, so we'll get into it. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's our show right here, WPRK, Winter Park, Florida, 91.5 FM. And yeah, this is That Ain't You by our guest, Maticulous, off his brand new project, the Maticulous LP, out now. Maybe you can get a cassette, maybe if you're lucky. Yeah, featuring Rock and Guilty Simpson. All right, y'all be easy. It's our show. Be right back. Peace. All right. So now with a name like Maticulous, I'm curious. How do you you have a file system as far as your beats, or you just like?
No, I just make them. I make them and then I'll stack maybe like 15 or 20, and then just listen to them over again and see like if I can conceptualize an idea for a project out of them. Yeah, it's like I'm not a dude that makes like 5-10 beats a day. That's just not how I work. I'll do like I said, now whenever I'm inspired, maybe I'll make like 3 a day, 3 in 3 days or something, and then I'll take a week off and then do that again, or make 2 in one day. Who knows? But yeah, I'll stack a few and then just see if there's any sort of projects that it would fit.
Now, how do you name them though? I want to get down to like the details. Are they like based off of the thing you sampled maybe, or is it just like, do you have numbers?
Sometimes I'll just think of something totally ridiculous in my head and just name it, you know. Like my boy Marco Polo is the genius at naming his beats like crazy things that are just completely dirty and filthy. But I've kind of like eased off that. Just it'll kind of like maybe either remind me of the sample, or if there's no sample, just kind of remind me of the feeling. And sometimes that helps me too, because if I give it to an artist and I name it something that I'm feeling off it, they'll write off the title. Like the joint on my LP called The Journey. I named it that, and Beatty just wrote basically about his journey through this hip-hop stuff. So yeah, it oftentimes helps.
Okay, so it's not like Maticulous, Spring 04, 0001.
No. There's always a name for it. Yeah.
Okay, no, because I know some heads who name it and then you can kind of tell as far as the numbers, where in their like timeline, I guess that beat kind of came from.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I couldn't do it that way because it would just be a number, and then I'd listen to it like, oh, that's what that sounds like. Then I would probably want to name it something else anyway.
No doubt. All right, so yeah, so what you just heard, That Ain't You, of our guest, off his brand new project, the Maticulous LP, out now. Yeah, that. Hold on, let me put this on repeat. Maticulous is in the building with us right now. Thank you, fam. Again, by the way, you're listening to right now, instrumental in the background. It's off that Christmas joint again. I want to kind of put it all around. Why did you choose a Christmas joint? Like, where'd that come about?
That's weird, man. I was like, I was kind of in a producer slump at that point, and I wasn't really inspired by anything, but I really wanted to work. So I was like, what would be a challenge for me to make a Christmas beat tape? Because it was in November. It was mid-November.
Yeah, like I gotta get this out quick.
Yeah, and like I think there's 5 joints on the beat tape. I made like 6, and I just wanted it to be not your average Christmas joint. Like you can actually bump a lot of them in July or September as opposed to December, but still have that holiday type feel, I guess. So that's really why I did it, just to challenge myself.
Oh, that's dope. Nice. And he did a damn good job. And so, like I said, I think this is the first things I played from you. You know
like,
yeah. Like,
how did you get them? Did you just?
I have no clue. Like sometimes I just randomly come across stuff, and I was like, "Oh, this is dope. This is interesting."
That's what's up.
Because this was in late 2012. That's why I was like, I think the Automatic joint came out afterwards, because this was like the first thing I heard from you.
Yeah. It was December. I put it out December, like a week before Christmas, 2012.
The joints are dope. So before we sign off real quick.
Can you still get that project? Some people in the chat room are
some people want to know if you can still get it.
Yeah. If you go to my SoundCloud page, I believe that you can download the whole project or download each track individually. If not, just hit me up on Twitter and I'll get it to you.
And that's Maticulous 21, MATICULOUS.
And my SoundCloud, if you want it off there, is SoundCloud / Maticulous Music.
Right. Or just go to maticulousmusic.com. I'm a big fan of just telling people to go to the .com.
All right.
Anything you need is there at the .com. So yeah. All right. So what's up next after this? I mean, the project's out now. I know you're working on some new stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot another video off the LP.
You're not gonna die in this one again, are you? Or
no.
Okay, you're gonna make it to the end. All right, cool.
I do have a video out for the Droog joint though. It's just me in Brooklyn, doing like the whole Brooklyn thing. So you can check that on YouTube. But yeah, I'll be dropping another video off the LP, and then I have another cassette tape coming. I think I'm gonna put it out before the end of the year. It's all instrumentals.
Nice.
It's actually gonna be a beat on a beat tape, so it'll be a beat tape. But you'll be able to get that off iTunes too.
And that's the the Chrome? What was it, Chrome something?
Yeah,
What's it called?
You've been doing your homework. I think I
tried to do all right. You know
I only said that. I think I only said that once. But yeah, it's called the Chrome tape.
Nice. Is it gonna be Chrome? That'd be dope.
Yes.
Like Chrome.
Yes, it's gonna be Chrome.
Oh, that is awesome.
It's kind of I'll say this also. It's inspired by just if you had a car and you put the top down, just rolling around, Chrome tape.
Nice. While you're sitting on Chrome.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Because you did work with Master Ace on the project too.
Yes,
you know
I did.
And Blue. Run down because it's a heavyweight lineup. You know what I'm saying? Like we already been playing joints, but name some of the folks on there to make people even want more to go get this project.
I got Your Old Droog, Fame from MOP, Raw Digga, Guilty Simpson, Rock from Helter Skelter, Master Ace, Blue, YU from Diamond District, and then a couple of dudes from Pittsburgh, Beatty, Hubs, and Folkland.
Nice.
Ooh.
Nice.
And
Heavy.
Skiz, my boy DJ Skiz did the cuts on the Master Ace joint, and my boy DJ Brace, who I've worked with a lot, did the cuts on The Journey featuring Beatty.
Nice. I think Brace, he does a lot of stuff with the Brown Bag All Stars too, I think, right?
Yep. He's dope.
Nice.
He's crazy.
Yeah, he got some cuts. All right, and he's a producer too, I think, or something.
Yeah, he does make beats. Yeah, he won a Juno for one of his albums in 2004, I think.
Word? Damn.
It's all instrumental. It's kind of like on some DJ Shadow stuff.
Craziness. Yeah, okay, nice. All right, so again, while we close this out, thank you for taking the time with us, hanging out.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you guys having me.
And again, just run down how people can find you.
Twitter, well, actually, I'll do the website first because you like
Exactly.
that.
Damn right.
Meticulousmusic.com, Twitter at Meticulous21, Facebook, Meticulous Music. What am I missing? SoundCloud, Meticulous Music. Instagram, just Meticulous. I think that's it.
There's just so many stuff, right? Like
yeah, it's hard. I'm not a like a social media guy, but I know I have to because that's really my only platform. So check me out and check out the YouTube page too. It's Meticulous21.
Cool. So yeah, let's just end off with let's see. You want to get in? What do you want to get into? Let me from the stuff you sent me. Let me see. Anything you want to end off with in particular?
What do you have?
The Layback. That's off. You said that's off the Confluence, right?
Yeah.
So I'll play that at another time. You know what I'm saying? But I want to get people hype off this project that's out now. You want to do the Stellar intro featuring Your Old Droog?
Yeah. Why not?
All right. Give me one random Jeopardy style type fact about Stellar intro.
Let's see. What is a random fact about Stellar intro? Well, I guess the night we recorded it, I recorded it at Skiz's spot, and he broke his headphones, so we had to go buy new headphones before we finished. So I guess
was the beat that hot? It was like, oh damn, broke my headphones.
Nah, he was pretty much done recording it by that time, but he just needed to finish a few things. So yeah, it was dope. I mean, that's the only joint I sent him, and he was down because I knew I wanted that to be my intro, and that joint had to be my intro. So yeah, he was down. That was dope, and spit a good verse.
Yeah, it's a damn good verse. Like, I'm looking forward to hearing more your old Drew. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's dope. All right, so yeah, let's get into a stellar intro. The intro to the Maticulous LP, right here, WPRK, Winter Park, Florida, 91.5 FM. You're listening to our show online at itsourshow.net. Anything else in the chat room there, Beat?
No, people are just all talking about the cassettes now.
Go get it. There's not that many left.
Word up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just in at all. Just cassettes.
Yeah.
You just kind
Park Ave over our record store out here, they're starting to put out more cassettes now.
word?
Though. Yeah,
Nice.
all the limited edition joints, they're starting to put those out now. Yeah.
Park
All right,
Ave CDs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Park Ave CDs here in Orlando, Florida.
I used to sell to them when I was at Fat Beats.
Word?
Yeah,
Look at that.
they were
All
a good
coming.
account for a long time.
Yeah, I mean they're great people.
They're
you know what I'm
probably the best, one of the best record stores out here.
Yeah.
In Orlando.
Tell them Matt from Fat Beats said what up. I don't know if it's the same people, but tell them I said what's up. I don't know if they'll remember.
All right, no doubt. Yeah, I'm sure they will. You know what I'm saying? Because it's been like the same people, I think. Yeah, for a minute.
Word.
Mikey and
Calvin?
Calvin.
Is that still there?
Calvin. I don't know if he's still
Yo,
there.
tell him I said what up.
I see him around every once in a while. Calvin, Mikey, the whole crew there. You know what I'm saying? So
Word.
all right. So yeah, so again, going down memory lane. But yes, thank you very much, Maticulous, for hanging out with
Thank you guys
us.
for having me. Appreciate it.
And yeah, we'll continue playing the joints. Just keep, putting them out and let us know.
Absolutely.
All right. So if you ever want to come back, just let us know, and we'll bring you back on air.
Yeah, man. I'll let you know when I got something to plug.
Nice. All right. Even not, just if you just want to talk about stuff, just let us know. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Word.
The door is open.
Thanks, man.
All right. So let's get into it. Stellar intro, the Maticulous LP. It was Maticulous. It's our show. And we'll be right back. Y'all be easy. Peace. Thank you very much, sir.
Peace, man. Have a good night.
You too, busy.
Let me know about the YouTube, and I'll post it.
All right. I appreciate that. Good looking out.
All right. Peace, bro.
Peace. I think I messed up in one of the tracks. I think I didn't have the mic all the way down, so damn it, I gotta go. Let's get into it. Stellar intro. Bam. Let me stop this. Cool. End broadcast.